Good morning. Isn't it a beautiful day? What can you say? I'm Elizabeth Waldstein-Hart, Executive Director of the Walkway over the Hudson organization, and I am thrilled to welcome you to this uniquely historic, uniquely beautiful, one-of-a-kind state park. This is an important day for Walkway over the Hudson and our thousands of friends and supporters. I see many of you here today. We are proud and privileged to join with New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on this special occasion. Before we get to that, let me welcome a few special guests. Of course, Governor Andrew Cuomo. We have to clap. More than once. And of course, our Commissioner of Parks, Rose Harvey. Thank you, Rose. Chairman of the Dyson Foundation and inspiration to all of us, Rob Dyson. Yeah. Our hardworking state senator, Sue Serino. Another person instrumental in the Walkway, Assemblyman Frank Scartatos. Frank. Ulster County Executive Mike Hine. Thanks, Mike. And his partner in crime, Duchess County Executive Mark Molinaro. Duchess County Legislator Minority Leader Mickey Strowinski. Mickey, welcome. Duchess County Legislator Carrie Reiser. I can just go down the row here. City of Poughkeepsie Mayor Rob Rollison. Supervisor of Highland, Paul Hansett. My good friend, Supervisor of Hyde Park, Aileen Rohr. President and CEO of Scenic Hudson, Ned Sullivan. New York State Bridge Authority Executive Director and partner in the Walkway, Joe Ruggiero. The lady behind a lot of what happens around here, the Commissioner of the State Park Commission, Lucy Rockefeller-Waletsky. And I see a couple other commissioners, Arthur Gellert and Ralph Odell, here today. Thank you. And Andrea Reynolds, President and CEO of the Dyson Foundation. There's so many other people. Mary Kay Verba from Dutchess County Tourism, and Rick Remsnyder, her partner in all good things, from Ulster County Tourism. All right, Mark Castiglione from the Greenway, Dr. Pamela Eddington, President of Duchess Community College. Two other partners I have to mention, Sheila Appel from IBM, a strong partner of the Walkway, Mike Oates, the new chairman, or current and not so new chairman of the Walkway, and Tara Sullivan, also representing the Bridge Authority. Did I miss anybody? We're done with that part. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you. So when the bridge was created opened in 1889, it was known as the Great Connector. Here today we have another real connector with us, Governor Cuomo. He's all about connecting the regions of New York so that we become one state. He's been a major supporter of enhancing New York State's open spaces, and including the Walkway over the Hudson, which is still a great connector. He understands and is committed also to our passion of preserving this beautiful asset for the future. Commissioner Harvey's here today to announce some new connections and some great news to enhance our park, and I'm going to leave that to her to announce. But the investment will help improve our capacity to serve as a renowned tourist destination. We're progressing on the Walkway. We're building on this asset. We're all here today because we appreciate this beautiful historic structure, but also what it's doing for the Hudson Valley. So join me now in welcoming another true connector, Commissioner of Parks, Rose Harvey.
So good morning, and welcome, Governor, who has been behind all our park improvements all throughout the state. And he's all about connecting, and he's all about, with parks, connecting people to the land, to the great outdoors, to the rivers. and also our historic legacy. And what could be better than a park that's a bridge? It's literal, it's there, it's tangible, it's real. And so in terms of connecting to the county executives, Ulster and Duchess, thank you. With your trails, the Duchess County Trail, with the 38.6 miles soon to be rail to trail, you all are connecting your regions together. The cities of Poughkeepsie, the mayor, the town supervisors, we're all cooperating with this one large bridge. And we're also Walkway over the Hudson State Park. It, in connecting all of you, connects it into a region, and it's a catalyst to tourism. 48% of our visitors are from outside Duchess and Ulster. Of the close to 500 million, it's 15.4 million in spending, 383 new jobs. And I also want to thank all our elected representatives for all your financial support for the governor's Parks 2020 to restore, fix, rejuvenate, transform all of our state parks. You every year vote over and over again that 90 million a year, that it's the backbone of it. And finally, on partnerships, you don't get off easy. The Dyson Foundation. It was Rob Dyson and his foundation. It was your vision. You saw it, that old broken down. You said it could be what, and you turned it into the world's largest pedestrian elevated bridge. And nobody's yet challenged us on that. So we're going to keep saying that. And Walkway over the Hudson, Elizabeth, you also were creators and founders. You've now turned into becoming the marketers, the interpreters of it. Thank you for your 140 ambassadors. Thank you for your interpretive signage. Thank you for the Talkway with your cell phones. You're coming up with all the newest and best innovations. Scenic Hudson, your partnership, single largest contributor after the Dyson Foundation, and also the manager of Franny Reese State Park on the other side. Thank you for your partnership. And the Open Space Institute, thank you for what you've done to buy some of the remaining lands, to put it all together. And then our own park staff. Thank you, Linda Cooper, the fearless regional director. The Garrett Jobson, Andy Beers, who was here at the very beginning to help create it, and to our park manager, Eric Hoppy. Thank you so much. So, the Walkway, it connects us to the mighty Hudson below. It connects us to the sky above. We're in it, in the middle of it, above, below, surrounded. What more can we do? Well, you all have done, this partnership has really done the core and everything, but we can help together to do some finishing touches. So it's the gateways. It's the gateway on the west end, and it's the gateway on the east end. We don't have anything that's really announcing the experience that you're going to be in, and we don't have places to stop and gather. So there are renderings over on the wall. The west side is fully designed. It's ready to go once we get that sewer line connected, and we'll start construction in 2017. It's got outdoor, indoor seating, more room for concessions, a new amphitheater for events, landscaping, upgrading the paths. This isn't all that sexy, but even the bus turnarounds for all the people that want to get there. And guess what? No more trailers at the entrance of the west end. And the east end, it's in the final stages of design as well. Again, more concession room, covered seatings, gathering place, information booth, relocated signage, and guess what? No more porta potties. A comfort station. Well, not always. We might have some porta potties. So I just want to thank everybody. I'm going to turn this over, but I also just want to thank Governor Cuomo again, because I'm not going to introduce him. He's not only the funder, but he's all about making things happen. And I think of Nike. It's every time I talk to him, he says, "Just do it, Rose." And he follows up, he calls, he makes it happen all the time. And it's happening all over the state. And we at Parks and Historic Preservation thank you for all that you're doing. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Rob Dyson. He's not going to read his talking points. Beware. Thank you. He's a visionary, and he's also a just do it guy. Thank you.
Pardon the hat, but it's Saratoga Auto Museum. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Governor Cuomo, it's always a pleasure to be here. I want to recognize one person that was not recognized that should be, and that is Fred Schaefer. Fred and I became great friends when our sons were playing Little League and went to school together. And Fred and I walked on this bridge in February of 1993, right, Fred? 6 degrees, ice flows. I won't tell you what parts of our bodies got frozen, but most of it. Anyway, we walked out here, and from there you could go all the way to the shoreline, the eastern shoreline, but you could go no further. And we were walking among the ties. And I turned to Fred and I said, we have got to make it possible for everybody to experience this. Fortunately, with the help of a lot of people, many of the people here, and countless others, we were able to do it. Now, there is an organization called Friends of the Walkway, and Andrew Cuomo is an honorary member. But I think we've got to understand that Andrew Cuomo has done more than that. He is a friend not only of people of the Walkway, but he is a friend of people across the state. I have served with, under, and paid many governors in this state. But I'm going to tell you, Andrew gets it. This is a multifaceted, multi-layered, strategically smart, dedicated, honest politician who is a friend of people from every section of this state. He has ignited economic development, education, parks in this state to a degree that no previous governor has ever done. And in addition to being my friend, he is our friend. Whether you live in downtown Poughkeepsie, downtown Buffalo, or uptown Selkirk. He knows where Selkirk is, so do I. But anyway, I'm going to tell you, Andrew Cuomo is a friend of the people of this state, and it's an honor to have him back to the Walkway. It's an honor to be with him, and I want to introduce our governor, a great friend, my personal friend, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Boy, what a pleasure to be out here today, huh? First, so there's a lot of messages, a lot of importance here today. First, to our local elected officials, Mike Hine, who is one of the superstars all across the state, and Marcus Molinaro, who's doing a great job. Let's thank them, and pleasure to be with them. To Senator Serino, Assemblyman Frank Scortados, we have, the reason this is possible today is because we have a major investment in state parks. The state parks had deteriorated for decades. It was almost a disgrace, I'll tell you the truth. If you're around my age, hopefully you're not, hopefully you're younger, but you saw just a deterioration of the parks over that period of time. And it was too easy for the state to save money. The parks themselves didn't really have a politically powerful constituency. So they were just a piggy bank, and they just kept reducing the budget, and the parks were deteriorating. It was unintelligent from a recreational parks trust point of view. It was also economically ignorant. We did the exact opposite. We're investing about $1 billion in state parks. That would not have happened without Sue Serino and Frank Scartatos, and I want to thank them very much for their help. And that's why we're here today. We have Rose Harvey, who has a very hard job of spending the $1 billion, which is hard. It's hard to spend $1 billion. It's actually hard to spend $1 billion and spend it well. And that is the trick, making it happen and making it happen well. And Rose is everywhere, and you see that energy that comes off her and that positivism. We were in Jones Beach the other day. Wherever we go, she's just, she believes, she's passionate. She's in public service for all the right reasons. Let's give her a round of applause, Rose Harvey, and her whole team. Now, let me say this about this walkway over the Hudson first, because it taught me something, and I think about it often, and I think about it when I'm not here, and I use it as an example in a lot of different situations that I encounter. Rob Dyson had truly a bold vision when it came to this walkway. And I remember the first time I talked to Rob about it. I didn't get it. I really did not get it. And I was asking him questions, and I didn't want to say, I don't get it, but I didn't get it. I said, so we rebuild a walkway across the Hudson, and why do people come to the walkway? He said, just because it's there. You know, it's like a Mount Everest theory. They're going to come because it's there, and it's beautiful, and we will attract tourists from all over the state, all over the region, all over the world. And I knew Rob, and I knew his reputation. He's a success at whatever he does, Rob. You know, he's a businessman, he's a success. Race car driver, he's a success. Entrepreneur, he's a success. Wineries, he's a success. So I said, all right, I don't necessarily see it. It's a little bolder than my normal appetite, but we went with it. It has turned out to be not only everything Rob and the original visionaries, because they were visionaries, not only everything they thought it was going to be, it's that and more. They expected 250,000 tourists per year. We're getting double that, 500,000 tourists per year. And it made the point to me that sometimes we don't think bold enough. We don't think creative enough. And it's not just a story about New York, it's a story about this country. We're stuck in this situation where we don't have the same creativity and the same ambition that we had. We got involved in a project rebuilding the Tappan Bridge, which they talked about for decades. Literally, they talked about it for decades. I can remember every governor standing up saying we really should replace the Tappan Bridge. But we lost our ability to believe that we could do it. It was too big, it was too complicated, it was too hard, it was too expensive. The more I heard the negativity, the more I insisted that it was something that we had to do, because the negativity can't win. The lack of belief, the cynicism, the skepticism can't win. As soon as it wins, it's over for us. Because we are the exact opposite. New York was everything about defying the conventional wisdom. You told us we can't do it, made us angry. We did it even faster, and we did it even better. Tallest buildings, longest bridges, most complicated transportation systems. We did it over and over and over again. So first, this walkway says, don't be afraid to be bold. Don't be afraid to be creative. Don't be afraid to reach high, because that's who we are and that's what we are. And that's what made us great, and that's what made New York great. When they talk about New Yorkers, oh, you know those New Yorkers. Sometimes they don't mean it 100% positive, but one thing they'll say about, oh, you know those New Yorkers, oh boy, they're ambitious. Boy, they don't take no for an answer. They are really believing themselves, those New Yorkers. We can never lose that, because that's what we're all about, and that's what the Walkway on the Hudson says. It's bold, it's creative. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. Believe in your instinct, believe in your gut, because normally it's right. And I use it in all sorts of examples. When I'm in a room of negativity and I can see on their face the skepticism, the cynicism. I do it with legislators a lot, by the way. Not that there's a connection between the two. The Walkway says, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Now, it's worked. It's worked extraordinarily well. We want to make it even better. And we believe there's more potential in the Walkway. And that's what the Welcome Centers are about at both ends. It's a $5 million investment. It's an investment because it will reap dividends. 2 Welcome Centers will enhance this attraction. I believe we'll get more people coming here because of the Welcome Centers. I believe it will increase the regional tourism. Because if you're getting people here, right, you're getting people in the store if you're thinking commercially. You come in for one product, we're going to sell you another product. You come in to see the Walkway, well, we have Minnewaska State Park. We have FDR's home. We have Duchess County parks. Once we get you here, well, then you have to come back because there's more to see. And we want to use this opportunity, this touching, to introduce you to the entire region. Because Marcus has a lot more to sell, and Mike has a lot more to sell, and there's a lot more here than you think. The Welcome Centers will also do that. So not just increase tourism for this Walkway, but literally for the entire region. Parks and Recreation, and what Rose does, is food for the soul, right? You walk along this Walkway, it brings you a peace. You take a deep breath. It takes you away from all the chaos and tumult of the day. It reframes your sense of self and your sense of where you are. That's all good for the soul. It reminds you of the beauty of our home. The Hudson River Valley, there is a reason why it inspired generations of painters and architects, and why artists from all over the globe came right here, right here. They left Europe, some of the greatest painters, because they had to be here, because they had to be inspired by this situation. We take it for granted as our backyard. It says that to us. So it is also preserving our history and our heritage for the next generation, because this is a gift that we have been given by our parents. It's a gift that we have to transfer to our children. And if we do it right as citizens, parents, we'll give it to our children in a little better circumstance than our parents gave it to us, right? We hold it in the public trust, and our obligation is to make it a little better. That's what Parks and Recreation is all about. There is also a pure economic component to what we do. Parks and Recreation is also a big economic generator for the state. Tourism is one of the strongest economic engines that this state has. Parks and Recreation is about a $2 billion industry in the state of New York, believe it or not. We have invested very heavily in tourism and gotten extraordinary dividends, especially north of New York City. New York City sells itself. Everyone internationally knows New York City. They know if they want to go there. They know if they want to visit. The untold story is north of New York City. New York State is not just New York City. We're proud of New York City, but if you like New York City, we have a whole lot more, all in one state. I like to say anything you can do anywhere in the world, you can do right here in New York State. You tell me what you want to do, you don't have to go anywhere. There is no reason to ever leave the state of New York. That is my position. There is no reason to leave. There is no reason to get on the plane. Anything you want to do, you can do right here. And if they're doing it somewhere else, they should be doing it here anyway, so talk about doing it here. So it is a big economic generator, parks and recreation. So is tourism, especially north of New York City. We have invested about $130 million in tourism, a lot of money. Again, thank you, Senator Serino. Thank you, Assemblyman Scartatos. $130 million is a lot of money even on a state budget. We invested $130 million in the I Love New York campaign, the ads, the brochures. A lot of the work you see here is all tourism related. $130 million investment increased the tourism industry $8 billion in the state of New York for the highest level. We are now at the highest level of tourism revenue ever, which is $65 billion industry in the state of New York. We today have more private sector jobs in the state of New York than at any time in the history of the state. Just think about that. More private sector jobs today than ever in the history of the state of New York. And one of the big generators for that is tourism. So today, we acknowledge once again the power of a bold vision, and we're reminded that we are New York, and there are all sorts of possibilities for us if we follow our instinct and we follow our spirit and we have confidence in ourselves. We remember that when Rob Dyson comes with what he says is a good idea, listen to him. We get to experience this beauty. We get this food for the soul. It's also going to be an attraction that's going to be even stronger with these welcome centers. I congratulate all of the people involved. The original visionaries, the local electeds who have stepped up and who made it happen, senator and assemblyman who passed the budget to make it happen, the people who work here, who are all delightful, and that's part of the experience. You come, you feel welcome, you're with nice people. It's a pleasant experience. So this is really a spot that inspires not just all the tourists that come here. It's a spot that inspires me. And on a personal level, I thank you for that. God bless you.
Photo op. All right, let me tell you just a couple more things, and we'll give a round of applause for a couple more people if Rob can indulge me, and then we'll go. The project is to build two welcome centers with all the amenities you'd expect at a world-class park on the east and the west approach. Parks has taken the lead to design two beautiful buildings. They will be putting $4 million into these projects. We will be going out and asking some of you to help us raise $1.5 million to match that, and we are hoping to have those finished in the next couple of years. It's been a great partnership. They're beautifully designed, and I want to thank Parks and the governor for that investment. Thank you. I just wanted to recognize Lucy Waletsky once more. Many of you know Lucy. She's been working in the parks system for a long time, and she's just another true champion, not only of the Walkway, but of many other parks, and she exudes great leadership throughout the state, and I want to thank you so much on behalf of Rose and myself for being here. Okay, so we like to think bold. We got, 5 days, Suzanne? We have 4,000 people coming in 5 days. We'll be running a half marathon, a full marathon, and a 5K right here. We'll be launching a brand new, we didn't want to rest on our laurels. We'll be doing the Think Differently Dash, a 1-mile run in the city of Poughkeepsie for people with mental and physical disabilities, right down Main Street in Poughkeepsie. Celebrate Rob's resurgence of Poughkeepsie. And over the years, I'll listen to my kind and we'll run further into Ulster. But this marathon will grow. It will bring more people to the region. It will showcase all of the wonderful things that the governor was referring to. So finally, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody in their red vests, all our wonderful volunteers who come out here weekend after weekend. And the hardworking staff of my organization, thank you everybody, and Eric Hoppy and the hardworking state park staff. Thank you, Governor Cuomo. Thank you everybody. Enjoy the wonderful day. Come and look at our plans there. Thank you for coming.